Yes.
Okay, you get a pass. All right, what's up, guys? So welcome back to another episode of Dougsterbob Discussions, but you will notice, if you're watching the video, that there's another guy here at the table, and this is Barrick. You guys hear me talk about him all the time.
I think they noticed me if I wasn't in the video, unless you're just really good at changing voices.
Yeah, see, that's true, but you hadn't talked. Well, I don't know how this is going to be edited. So anyway, my whole idea here is that I absolutely hated, well, I didn't hate it. I kind of hated it. Talking to I have a mirror in my room. So when I film the podcast, I kind of just talk to myself, and it's kind of weird. And I hated it because it's like, I just talk for 30 minutes straight. My mouth gets numb, and I started to be like, oh, I hate it because it's Friday. I try to film the podcast on Friday, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, I need somebody else to at least chit chat about the topics. So you guys will notice there's some there's some people behind us. We're here trying to set this up. This is a long story. We'll get to why we're here in the parking garage in a minute. But these guys, they came to take pictures. So you probably see them in the background, hear them, all that. Maybe we'll just let them leave. But it's kind of cool, we're just out here in the wild.
Yes. Nature podcast.
Nature podcast. No, I'm just going to keep going unless they drive over here and shine their lights on us. And I wanted somebody else on the podcast to eventually interview people with and help me out with that. And then to also make it to where I'm talking less and just have it more of like a conversation factor. Barrick and I, after we ride, will stand at our cars for how long?
Like an hour, I think.
Yeah, probably like an hour. So the security guard leaves, and then a different one comes back and says, the park's closed. Like, we haven't been standing there. Like, we were there when we know the park's closed, dude. We're just talking. Leave us alone. So anyway, another reason why I don't particularly love the security guard, aside from that last thing with the kids laying down in the bowl. So anyway, I was like, Barrick, let's be on my podcast. You'll co-host with me, like whatever. If we make any money, you can have half of that. And then, he said, okay, but Barrick's really flaky. So he's actually here though. So that's pretty exciting. I was like, let's just do it on Zoom. We can, you know what, Barrick, you tell the story. So anyway, this is Barrick. This is episode technically 9, but 8 was just a recap of the live on Sunday because I didn't have a podcast. So anyway, Barrick's going to tell us a story about why we are here out in the wild, aside from it being a pretty cool idea, all in all, but.
So I just personally feel like Zoom is not the best quality for a podcast. Like, I personally wouldn't want to watch that. And trying to film it in my room, I'd get bombarded by questions with my mom, and I just don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just not do a podcast than get asked 21 questions.
So the Zoom podcasts are interesting because, well, like we were talking about that earlier. Well, not necessarily Zoom, but like when Barrick watches a podcast, you don't watch it.
So usually I have my laptop set up.
Yeah.
And then over here I'll have my iPad. And then on my iPad I'll play YouTube and watch and listen to the podcast there and browse Amazon or just look at stuff. Oh, so it's there's some video that I can peek over to, but it's more of a listening aspect while I just browse the internet.
Yeah, I really I only watch Unclicked when I need to learn something about talking about the podcast, like Ryan Nyquist or whatever. My grandma, she has her TV on and then she has her iPad. And so she's watching TV, but then she's watching YouTube on her iPad. But then she's on her phone scrolling through Facebook. And either she's the best multitasker in the world or she's not watching anything and just taking up the internet. I don't know what's going on. But so we're here at the parking garage. I was like, bro, what if I forgot to hit record? I had to buy a new microphone and this thing so that we could film this. I'm not sure how the quality is going to be, but the podcast overall is going to be a lot better as long as we can keep it under 30% awkwardness. And so we're going to talk about some upcoming events, which there's not much. Kevin Peraza's edit.
Yes.
We love Kevin Peraza.
Oh, big fan.
I love Brad Sims a little more, but Barrick and I don't agree on that. Some drama in BMX. Barrick found some drama. Usually I don't have anything for that section. Then we're going to talk more about Kevin. Then we're going to talk about some product releases and some side notes. We want to talk about bike shops versus online bike shops, or like essentially, I think bike shops are dying, but we'll get into that. And then I almost forgot. I need to read your comments from the last podcast and talk about that. Okay, so upcoming events: Alienation Planetary Coaster giveaway. It's an RBMX thing. You post your best fakie clip, and you might win a free toaster. So the Alienation Venus is just like the Revolution, but you had the Revolution.
Yes.
Had.
I was not a big fan.
Why not?
Great hub, but like for instance, whenever I came and rode here, I would like try to 180 onto the manual pad, and it'd engage. I would do manual 180, and as soon as I land fakie, it would just engage. It was like nonstop engaging for me, but I think that's just because I like have lazy feet or something. So my front foot drops down and causes it to engage.
So if you didn't have lazy feet,
Yeah,
would
like
it
if I
have
rode with
been?
them really stiff,
Yeah.
and I landed like just like that, it would have been fine. But just like the slightest bit forward,
Well,
it engages.
I rode it like once or twice, and then it did engage a couple of times for me too. So how much was it?
$240,
Oh
but I had a
my-
coupon code.
Oh, how much did you save?
I think I spent $200 for everything.
Okay,
Still
that's
a
not bad.
ridiculous price, but
Yeah, well, the hybrid's supposed to be 150,
140.
140
Yes, $100 less.
for a better hub? Question mark.
I feel like it's going to be better for me.
Because you can crank flip?
Yes.
Yeah. So Barrick was like, buy my Revolution. I'm like, no, I don't really want to buy it right now. But like, if he would have gave it to me, I would have definitely ridden it. But I didn't want to buy it. So anyway, that's a thing. And maybe it's good. But like, I always talk about this when it gets brought up on the live, is that I just feel like in Barrick's instance, the technology isn't fully there yet. I think they're going to keep developing it, but there's still bugs like it engaging, things like that.
Wow.
But you might love it. And maybe this is a better version, because Brant, I think, played a big role in it. And Brant has been a lover of the planetary system for a long time.
Well, I don't know if the Alienation went off the Free Night Free Coaster, because I know the BSD Revolution was better than the Free Night. So if Alienation improved on the Free Night but less than BSD,
It'd be worse.
yes.
But
But I mean, the Free Night wasn't really that bad, I don't think.
yeah. What if Alienation improved on the Revolution? So like Free Night, BSD improved, right? But then Alienation took it a step further.
See, I don't know what they could change, though. Like,
Yeah,
that's the
it's
weird
just
thing.
the system, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like, well, we took it apart and looked at it, and the slack or the materials seem kind of cheap to me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is $250. It's like plastic, right? And the ring or whatever it is. So I don't know. Hold on, I'm trying to find the comments, so I just have them. I can just swipe over to them when we get to the end. Like, it's a little premature, but it's a lot of stuff about Flatland. Cool. So anyway, guys, win that hub for us, and then let us know if it's better than the Revolution.
Yes.
Upcoming event, another one is Corey Burgler versus Morgan Wade. Somebody mentioned this a few weeks ago to talk about in the drama section. I haven't really seen anything, and I don't really pay attention to it, but Barrick knows a little bit. And I think a big thing is whether or not they were serious or not. And like, what are they going to do? Like, who's going to win? What's going to happen?
So, I mean, I forgot what post it was, but they said they for sure were not serious. That it's just all... Scotty pretty much said they're just trying to like overhype it so everybody gets like really excited about it because it's going to be a big, huge event. But my prediction...
Our friends are back.
Not friends. Not a sponsor. I think Morgan Wade is going to win it. And then Corey Burgler is going to throw his little fit. Be like, oh, you got home park advantage. Like, play it at one of our parks here in New Jersey. And Morgan Wade's going to agree, go up there someday. They're going to play. Corey Burgler's going to win. And then Scotty's going to be like, oh, well, we need to have a third and final game at, like, Woodward or something. Just end all. Like, just tail whips in different parks across all Woodward.
So you think this is like a marketing scam?
Well, I don't think it's a marketing scam. I mean, my money's on Morgan Wade.
Morgan Wade's the best.
But, I don't know, I think they'll try to build off of it. And if Corey Burgler Burglar. If Corey Booger wins, I don't know what they'll do then.
Yeah. Well, how are they determining a winner?
It's just a classic game of bike.
But with only whips.
Yes.
So do you remember Mike Payne?
The El Paso rider? Yes.
But he was here. I don't know. I couldn't tell if he was talking shit about me or if like he just had tough love for me. I can't tell. But anyway, he moved away, but he posted a thing about Morgan Wade doing something, I think a table.
I thought it was turn down. It's like Corey Burglar doing a bad turn down.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what it was. He posted a bad turn down from Corey Burglar and said something like, if you could turn down better, you wouldn't need to play a game of whip or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think he got butthurt on it.
Oh, yeah.
But was he just, joking like he was? They're pretty mean to each other. If my friends were like that, I'd either fight them or not be friends with them.
No taken. But now I know Corey Burglar. I hate his name.
Yeah, you can't say it.
He responded back with like a better picture of a better turn down. And it was like passive aggressive with it.
Yeah.
And Payne was like, oh, I was just kidding around. Like, just, it's all jokes. But I mean, I don't know, I feel like that's all the older generation is. It's
They're
just
mean to
constant
each other.
roasting. I know.
Like that one guy.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Anyway, so I don't know what's going on with that, but you think they're gonna? Okay, wait. So Corey Burglar, is he constantly on Scotty's channel, or he's just kind of in the friend group?
He's on there majority of the time. I know Maddie's helping Scotty a lot with his YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's mainly just Scotty and Maddie with guest appearances by Corey Burglar and.
Got you. I don't think Corey's that good. But I haven't seen a lot. I really had no idea who he was until this Morgan Wade thing came around. And I mean, I guess it doesn't matter for, say, Scotty's channel. You just have to be entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he is pretty good on an airbag. Just kidding.
According not to Morgan Wade.
Oh, yeah. He cased that one, huh? Yeah. And then Do the Damn Jam, May 8th. It's the Capital BMX thing. I talked about it when they first were talking about it. It's in Kansas City, May 8th. Dance Comp and Eastern are sponsoring it.
I wonder if the first spot's going to be a bankrupt. Please don't hate me. I love you, Dance Comp.
He said that earlier because at one point both the companies were severely struggling. So we were talking about it and he was all, I hope they're, or what did you say? The first spot's a bankrupt? Yeah. This is all jokes.
Yes.
Unless. Okay, so that's upcoming events. Recent events, Kevin Peraza's edit. We love Kevin.
Oh, yes.
And the edit was whack.
Oh, yeah. In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Good way for sure. I don't know how, we're not promoting Monster. I don't know how he, or Aquafina. Sponsor. No, but we both, when we were talking about it, we both knew right away that nose on the wall, nose 180 on a wall.
Oh yeah, like the crazy slant with the bench.
Yeah, we'll have to put the clip on the YouTube version. I don't know what to say. That was just whack. Like the whole thing. My favorite thing definitely. You guys hear that car? My favorite thing definitely about him is, well, he's been able, in his X Games Real Street, to take his crazy park skills, but actually do them in street in a way that looks good. It's not hop double whips, but it's just crazy. Grind to decade? Wasn't that something in there?
Yeah, upper rail decade or something.
Yeah, I think that's really that takes special. I talk about a lot how to make BMX look easier to a certain extent. Kevin definitely does that flawlessly. And it's an art form for sure, because not many people are able to do that. And just his edits, I feel like, I don't know for sure, but I feel like it's all first try. You think so?
Well, I don't know. When I was watching the Dennis Anderson.
Don't Break My Heart.
God, I forgot what. It's when they do the cash for tricks. The king of
the
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Peraza was in there. And I mean, the dude just always going.
The street?
Yeah. But I mean, he was landing a lot of stuff, but then there was a lot of stuff he wasn't landing first try. But I mean, the dude definitely puts in work for his riding, which is honorable.
Yeah. when I was in San Diego, ran into him at Linda Vista, and he was doing like I mentioned this before. I think it was no, can to feeble to no footed can.
Oh yeah.
And for the USL thing. And it didn't take it. It wasn't first try, and I was surprised. But then there was like random things in the bowl that were crazy first try, and so yeah, like maybe he just puts in a lot of work, like you said. I don't know.
Well, I know one of the clips he was trying was like 360 over a like plastic barricade thing to nose manual on a sidewalk to 180 out.
At the jam thing or the USL?
The King of the Jib.
Wait, so 360 over a barricade?
Yeah, like hop 360 to drop nose. So it'd be like 360 over something onto this and like quick nose 180. Or maybe he was trying nose 3. I don't know. It was something like crazy.
I've tried, well, like that ledge behind us to half cab nose.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like this high off the ground. Could you imagine off of the table high? God, that guy's insane. I love Kevin. He's always smiling.
Oh yeah.
But we'll talk about, so Kevin's our rider spotlight. We'll talk about him a little bit more because we both love Kevin. But the USA BMX freestyle event in Tucson happened, and that was one thing that I kind of talked about as an upcoming event. I was going to go out there, and then I just didn't because of I hurt my neck. I was going to sleep in my mom's air mattress over there, and like I was not about that. So I didn't go, but there were some highlights. Beric's favorite, I think, was a crash clip, but
I don't think that was part of the event. Some poor kid.
No, but I don't know. So funny story. I saw the winner. Very good tricks. Vital posted it, right? Was it Vital?
I believe so.
We'll put this up on the screen too, but I told Beric we should buy a projector and like project it somewhere in the background, and then anyway, that won't work, obviously. It could, but anyway, I think the first clip was like a 720 bar, and then he did like a bar to whip air, and then a oppo whip, and then
probably a bar to whip.
And that was the winning run. And I commented and I said that variety with the sexting emojis, essentially. And some people liked my comment. Beric wasn't sure if I was being condescending or serious, though. You'll never know. Maybe I was. You'll never know. So anyway, though, but what's cool about that is I think their main focus is essentially getting younger riders competing and getting them used to it. That's kind of how they talked about it. But then they had an open class with the older guys, like that guy that won, and it's windy. But you're not a competition guy.
No.
Why?
I don't know, I mean, definitely not my type of riding. I do take a lot of tries to land a trick. I'm definitely not a first try kind of guy. And if I am, the trick's not that good.
It's really hard. So like your first try tricks aren't very good.
No.
I can get a lot of stuff first try, but in a contest setting, I freeze. Like I get chills even though it's hot and like sweaty I'm a wreck, man. It's like in England I did the one contest, I could not focus. I just did like 10 foot jams in my run. It was embarrassing because I kept losing speed, so I'd foot jam. And anyway, let's not talk about that. Freestyle event happened. Contests would be fun to get back into. We'll talk about Olympics one day when it comes up, because I don't know, like there's that big debate on whether it's ruining the sport, and I think people are starting to see where it's going eventually. So like USA BMX freestyle, if they're working with UCI points, I don't know if they are, and you need those points to qualify for Olympics or to even compete for a spot in the Olympics. But I think they're seeing that maybe their only competition is UCI, and they can maybe get in that direction. I think Woodward, I think Woodward is starting to see that maybe that's the direction they need to pivot to get people more hyped on it. So they got Jamie Bestwick and Ryan Nyquist on board, who Ryan Nyquist is actually the coach of the USA BMX Olympics. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Because you didn't watch the podcast that I told you to watch. So yeah, no, Beric is like, I tried to watch it. It just wasn't very interesting.
Yeah. think I started playing Among Us.
So he's coaching. He started out coaching the girls, and he wanted to compete in the Olympics, and then it just didn't work out for him because he was doing mountain bike at one point. I didn't know that, and BMX. But so he's coaching. But anyway, so with Woodward bringing him on board, he's able to help pivot camp in a way that's going to gear kids into competition riders. Because if Olympics becomes the biggest thing and competitive parents start throwing their kids into the sport, like, I want you to be an Olympic, like they do with other things. They're like, you're going to be a swimmer. So like you start swimming when you're 5 and no breaks and blah, blah, blah. Woodward is going to be positioned perfectly like, hey, we have the best coaches. Like, we're going to help your kids be in the Olympics. And I think they're getting on board with it. I don't know. There's a lot of money in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Last thing about that, just because I don't even think that was a note, but it's something I wanted to touch on, because Nyquist talked about, like, at the prime when him and Mira were at the top of the game, they were making like 6-figure contracts right before an event. So they'd be at like X Games about to drop in. Their agent would have them sign something, right? Slap a sticker on his helmet, and that was their contract. And he's like, just crazy things too. A lot of it was in the internet age, but if that's how Olympics is going to go, then they, you got to be watching my back because I can't. If that's how Olympics is going to go, then, when Olympics happens, like, maybe people are going to be throwing money at BMX riders just like they were back in that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think there's that much money in it.
Yeah, I don't think BMX in Olympics is really going to blow up unless it's racing. Because it's just like, well, everything in Olympics has like an end goal. Like, let's say you could run the fastest. Let's say you could swim the fastest. Let's say you could throw this the furthest.
So we're going down this road. We're going to talk about it. So that is a really good point, because it's tough to say. Like you said, it's like a black and white line. Who ran the fastest?
Yeah.
But you can argue, like we were just talking about the Chase Hawk versus Daniel Sandoval in Austin X Games.
Yes.
Daniel Sandoval got ripped off for sure.
Definitely not.
But BMX, like you're saying, is so creative that how do you put a point on somebody's style or somebody's creativity?
Well, it's like the variety. And I mean, Daniel Sandoval is a good rider, but I just wasn't like in love with his run. It was, God, especially when he just stayed in that one section for too long. It was lots of bars, whips, where Chase Hawk was like flowing the whole bowl, kept his speed good flow, like tables, turn downs, tricks everywhere. Like, and I mean, as far as I know, that's what they said they were going to base the competition on, because it was a bowl contest. It wasn't like typical park, like deer best tricks contest.
So, yeah, and you said, or I saw a picture where it was like Chase Hawk's run, right, and it was mapped out in lines, and it was all like all over the park, where Daniel Sandoval was like back and forth, and stuff like that. But that's really hard to say. Like, you can't say, or you could, I guess you could say, 50 tail whips is 100 points, but only 30 tail whips is only worth 70 points. So you could base the whole Olympic park off of one trick, and you could judge it that way, like, because that's a black and white line. Did they do 100 tail whips or not?
Or just do like video games and be like, tail whips will start off at 500 points, but then you get reduced 50 each one you do.
Could you imagine being a judge and you're like, oh, tail whip, oh, wait, this one's worth less. Oh, and then you just
be like that one video with that one guy. Like, it's the weekend, baby. White Claw.
Fucking steak, baby. We got to find that video and throw it up. That's funny.
Hey, it's Saturday night. It's fucking steak night, baby. Fuck, man. Steak night and red wine, baby. Yeah. This time I'm doing the steaks on the grill. Fuck, yeah. If you don't deserve a steak, you're a pussy. Fuck, man. Fuck, it's Saturday night. Yeah, celebrate. Fuck, it's Saturday night. It's fucking steak night, baby. Fuck. Yeah, look at those.
Yeah, so, I mean, but that is an option. Just pick one trick. But that would be horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely horrendous. I don't know what's going to happen. And we would have known by now if COVID wouldn't have canceled the Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So anyway, USA BMX freestyle. See, what are we at? We're at like 28 minutes, and we're only halfway through. Whereas when I do this on my own, I'd be ripped through the list. I'd be in bed. My phone told me it's bedtime.
Sorry, viewers.
I think this is good. I think an hour-long podcast is solid. I think 2 hours is too long. Barrick thinks 20 minutes is good.
Like 20 or 30 minutes. Maybe 45 max.
Look, guys, we love you. We're going to give you the longest podcast ever. Drama. This is exciting because we were talking about, well, first drama was somebody commenting on an our BMX post but we brought in the topic. We'll probably go for an hour on just this now, but two brands that have severely lost reputation and their build back. So first is Eastern. Robbie and I, the team manager, follow each other. I reached out to him because I have seen it, over the last few years, they've made significant, I'd say, attempts to make Eastern, like to bring Eastern back. And I know that's a big goal of his, and I see that he's really putting in work. But I can't attest to their quality or anything like that because I haven't wrote anything. But what happened? Because I have no idea. They used to be super popular.
I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I think they went bankrupt, or they owed like a lot of people. Well, I mean, I guess that is bankrupt.
A lot of people money.
Well, I don't know if there's a difference between debt and bankruptcy. To me, bankrupt's like you're just out of money, but debt's like you're out of money and you owe people money.
You're out of money and you're negative. And so they just went bankrupt. That's what you think.
Yeah, I know they burned a lot of bridges.
By
just screwing over people with the money, I think.
Yeah, I think this is... So I rant a lot about Mafia and Elite and how they suck money out of the economy.
Yes.
I don't think Eastern's particularly on that level because at one point they were sponsoring riders. I don't know how much. And they are... Well, see, they're sponsoring the Capitol Jam. So they're sponsoring events and kind of helping out in the community, which is to me a lot better than if you... I forgot about my buttons. I'm going to have to start using them. We have buttons. Okay, but anyway, got to keep that fresh. ADD. What was I saying?
Sponsoring events.
But anyway, nobody knows. I mean, I'm sure you can find the guy that owns Eastern. But for example, Colt, right? Like Robbie Morales is huge in the community. He does a lot for everything. Everyone knows who he is. Yada, yada, yada. But who owns Eastern? Exactly.
Oh, I was like, Robbie Taylor?
No, he's the team manager.
Oh.
And Robbie's a solid guy. But yeah, so I don't know who's running it. But it like ideally, you know, if you can start a company and get it big enough and you just pay somebody $50K to run it and you keep the profits, like, that's a solid thing. You don't have to worry about it. You got one guy stressed the fuck out trying to run your company for you, but you're good. And that's how it is for a lot. That's why people hate capitalism. And from the aspect of a business owner, capitalism's great because you just pay other people to deal with your problems if you're a good leader, manager. And but from the minimum wage worker, capitalism is not it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they burned a lot of bridges, but they're trying to come back. I always wanted the Trail Digger frame.
Huh.
Right?
I know, like, back in the day, I was in love with the...
Grim Reaper.
Yes.
That's what I meant, not Trail Digger. The Grim Reaper. It was like, I think they made a titanium version.
Yes. Like,
it was just incredibly light.
tie bars, forks, and frame.
Nobody's doing that. But it's expensive, and I think...
That's why they went bankrupt.
Yeah. They spent too much money on tie. I think their stuff broke quite often.
Oh, yeah. Like, God, one of my favorite memes was like, bro, I bought Eastern grips a week ago and they broke on me.
That's kind of savage. So what was the comment for the drama section?
So I think, it was RBMX posted a picture of Eastern's new 4-piece bars.
Okay.
Super strong, whatever. And
let's read it. Eastern just dropped some new 4-piece bars redesigned by Robbie Taylor. The team level 4-piece bars are built super strong with extra thick multi-butted heat treated chromoly tubing, 8.75-inch rise. Okay, you don't care about the specs, but pick them up at your local Eastern dealer today or hit the link in their bio for more info. Oh, I see some good comments. Okay, but what happened?
So it's Chad's Groot comment where he just laughs. Robert
Laughing
Taylor's
emoji.
like, thanks, dog. I appreciate you.
I don't know who Chad Groot is. He's got 20K.
Swear he has something to do with profile.
He's voted the number 14th most influential rider by Trans World. Okay. So he put laughing face. And then Matt Hydebeast, who's this? Is he just a random Bob? He's just a random Bob. He said, y'all said super strong and Eastern in the same sentence. Interesting. So anyway, if you guys end up with those bars, let us know. I don't know. I feel like, here's the thing, just based off some recent research, everything is made by the same people in Taiwan. Yeah. Like, not everything, but almost everything. And where it gets different here, I think, is the riders you sponsor and the way, I mean, granted, I think S&M is pretty good, right? They're handmade.
Oh, yeah, I think.
Or made here.
Made here in the USA.
Not Las Cruces.
No.
But for the most part, like, everything's made in the same spot. Like, I'm sure Eastern and Kink and Mission and like Rant and I don't know, probably not We the People, but I'm sure it's all just made in Taiwan, you know, same thing. So, but this does said heat treated chromoly. We were talking about the difference where like Kink, most of their aftermarket parts are heat treated, but Mission not particularly.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's some drama, but I think I think BMX is at the point right now. This is what I see, where there's a lot of people getting into it, and a lot of people are sold out. And either Eastern was behind on production on stuff, or like they're jumping on this opportunity. But they do have complete bikes out right now, and if they're able to get those in front of enough people who are looking for bikes and their quality is good enough to carry out for a couple of years, like that could really build up their reputation, because there's a whole new, like our generation, I think we were riding Eastern when it was cool, or I got a complete, that was one of my second or third, I broke it, but it was one of my second or third, it was Tri-Molly. It was one of my second or third completes, and then it happens. I broke a lot of bikes. I haven't broke my Fit Dugan frame. But anyway, and then it kind of died out. And there's a new generation of riders. Like, I used to be the young kid at the park, and Chase was like the medium guy. And now I'm the Chase. Chase is the old guy. So I'm the old guy to these younger kids that are getting back into it. Yeah. So for them, they don't necessarily know anything about Eastern, and maybe they're going to like revitalize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope it goes good, because BMX surprisingly doesn't really have that many companies, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, neither does skating. It seems like
That's true.
I mean, just from working at Zoomies, there was always like I don't know, it just seems like a bunch of different decks, and then like couple trucks, couple wheels.
Bunch of what?
Decks. DECKS. Hope I spelled that right.
Deeks. Wait, I was trying to say Dex, but like with an anyway, never mind. I hate it here. Okay, Dance Comp. That's the other one. So
yes.
So they're both sponsoring the Capital thing, but they both had the thing. You guys have heard me talk about Dance a lot. But one thing I mentioned was that they were essentially overpromising having parts in stock and then not having them, and then not actually shipping them. Like, people weren't getting their parts for months. And then they got bought out by A-Main, and Salvador Blanco, the guy from the Live, bought a complete kink from them, the Williams.
Nice.
And that's why I asked you about their free coaster. Is it FX2 that comes on it?
That I'm not sure.
Anyway, one of them, it broke on him in like a month, and he contacted Kink and contacted Dan's, and he CC'd me in all the emails. So it was really cool to see. He emailed Nathan Williams too. Like all four of us are in this, and he said, "I'm very disappointed this happened. Like, haven't had it very long. Blah blah blah. I bought a replacement wheel, the exact same wheel, and it broke also." And I was like, "Dang, that's bad." So first of all, shame on Kink. I like Kink. I love Kink, but shame on that, because I'm learning they knew about the problem. But this Dance Comp ties in here later. I'm not just ranting, I promise. So he emailed all these people. Kink said, "You need to deal with Dance Comp because you bought it from Dance Comp." And then Dance Comp said, "You need to deal with Kink because this is a manufacturer problem." What the? Oh, hey, they're leaving.
I hate it here.
Our next spot. So Real quick, I should have said this in the intro, but my idea with this is when Barrick said, well, can we just film it outside somewhere else? I was like, well, that's annoying. It took us forever to set up and move stuff around. But I was like, this would be cool because we'll set up in different street areas as long as there's an outlet, and we'll film like a minute-long riding clip or something, like a mini edit to go with it, and we'll sit here, we'll film the podcast, and we'll go ride. And so that'll be fun. But anyway, the dance comp thing, God, this podcast is all over the place. I'm sorry. Get out of here. Hold on, we're going to let them rev their engine.
I'm so impressed.
I'm going to tell them to shut up. I was going to fight the security guard, so I'll definitely fight this kid. I wasn't really going to fight the security guard. I'm a good guy.
Nah, I probably wouldn't have either.
So tell them a story about that time where you did not have my back.
So, damn it, part 2. Oh, we were at a gas station, and I forgot
Big
what.
quick.
Oh yeah, probably went in for scratchers. Missed those.
Yeah, lots of scratchers.
And yeah, so Doug gets into my passenger seat, opens the car door, shuts it. Dude in a truck next to it just starts freaking out, and he's like, And we're like, did you hit my truck? We look. Doug's like, no. He's like, no. Did you hit my truck? And Doug's like, dude, I didn't hit your truck. He's like, nah, did you hit my truck? Doug's like, I didn't hit your truck, bro, and flipped him off.
This is a 16-year-old man. I was pretty rebellious.
So I just started leaving the parking lot to go across the street to where Doug's car was. Homie follows us, pulls up next to us, and I forgot what he started with.
They were driving all psycho, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
And they pulled up next to us, right? And, yeah, I can't remember how that went. But windows down, like, next to us while we were driving. We were by Jack in the Box. I think my car was parked at Jack in the Box. Because we'd always ride. We'd go to Jack in the Box, eat, go get scratchers from Pickwick, lose, like, $10, go back. And then he was saying, like, God, what was it? I think they wanted to fight me. There's, like, 3 of them.
Yeah, there was like some random dude that popped up from the back seat.
Cholos. And so anyway, I don't know how it all went, but what I remember is them saying, Barrick's like, how did it go?
I was just like, bro, like, your truck didn't get hit. I don't know what you're freaking out about. Can we, like, just chill out and have ourselves a good night? He was like, no, you're cool, but your friend's a bitch.
And Barrick said, yeah, my friend is a bitch, and de-escalated the whole. He didn't have my back. I was like, let's fucking go. Right? No, I probably wasn't like that, but I probably would have tried to fight him because I'd never been in a fight, and in high school I was like full of testosterone. And then Barrick didn't have my back, and I was like, well, it's 3v1 instead of 2v3, so we can't do that.
Well, I just hated it because it was my car. I had nothing to do with it. And the driver's like, bro, I'm going to fuck up his car. It's like, you're not going to fuck up his car.
That's what we were saying, yeah.
And I was like, why am I involved in this? We literally did nothing.
So next time, well, I almost got beat up another time, just random with the Miles thing, right? We'll talk about that someday. That's funny. But okay, wait, they're gone. We're going to bring it back now. That'll be a good clip. Dance Comp come back. Okay, fast forward. Dance Comp said you need to email Kink about this. Am I too loud?
No.
Okay. Kink said you need to deal with Dance Comp. And what happened, long story short, is even though it's Kink's problem, like, I feel like Kink should have dealt with that. Their hub quit working after a month.
Well, I'll get into my story about Dance Comp and Profile after this.
Okay. So anyway, I feel like Kink should have dealt with that. And what happened to this poor guy? He bought another wheel because he thought it would work. And then it didn't. So that's definitely a Kink problem. And so what happened, his ticket got escalated to A main from Dance Comp. And the service manager essentially said, hey, man, keep the wheel, keep the bike. We're just going to send you a brand new shadow wheel or something like that. And just put it on, like, don't worry about it. And we're just going to send it, blah, blah. And he's in Japan. So they're dealing with all this overseas, which I'm sure shipping is not cheap.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, there's a siren now. So kudos to them. That's really cool to do that because, a lot of companies would not take that, say, oh, it sucks, man. So I was like Dance Comp, I used to buy from them. One, I'm salty because they never wanted to work with me. Sad. Two, so that's part of my bias. But two, like, what happened when they almost when they sold, essentially. Like, that's really bad. And there's not very many trusted BMX shops. And for that to happen, like, that's really sus. But I think with A-Main, I think genuinely they're doing really good. So what's your drama with Dance Comp?
So, I mean, it's not really Profile's fault. It's more of a PayPal thing. Test how old I am. So Dance Comp like just introduced PayPal. So I was like, heck yeah, I love PayPal. Bought some Profile spline drive cranks. I think it was like on a Sunday. So since Dance Comp wasn't open, they charged me. But then when they opened up, they charged me again. Ooh. So it like threw me into the negatives. I'm freaking out because cranks are like 150 bucks. Yeah. So I called PayPal. I was like, hey, I got double charged. Like, what do I do? And they're like, oh, try calling the company, see like what they can do. Called Dance Comp and I was like, hey, like I got double charged for this. Like, what do you guys do about it? They're like, oh, you have to contact PayPal. I was like, so I called PayPal. I was like, look, I contacted them. They said I have to contact you. They're like, yeah, we can get it taken care of. I was like,
wow.
Why couldn't this been done the first time?
On a wild goose chase.
So that took kind of a while. Got my money back. Got a call from Dance Comp. Guy like not really pissed off at me, but he's like, dude, why'd you call PayPal? We could have taken care of that.
Nah.
Like, oh my God. Like just one of you could have taken care of it the first time.
How long ago was that?
Oh, it was a long time
so like
ago.
Before they were, back when they were family owned.
Oh yeah.
Oh. So you were looking at to buy from Dance Comp again.
Yes. Just cause they don't have a lot of stuff in stock. I lied.
They really don't?
They do. Shh.
Oh, but don't buy any of it.
Yes. Not until after I make my purchase.
Well, so speaking of that, the Shadow Vultus forks, that's something we're going to talk about in product releases, even though it's not a release. They said they're back in stock now. We skipped over the rider spotlight, but that's okay. We'll get back to that. We're going to product releases because it's all over the place.
Yeah.
The Shadow Vultus adjustable forks, I'm going to buy them. If I wouldn't have just spent lots of money on this stuff. Eventually, I'll buy them once I pay down my PayPal credit. But I want them because you can snap in and go from like, I think it's 22, 25, and 27. So it's really not that much.
See, I thought it was just 2 adjustments when I read it.
It's 3 now.
Huh.
Here, I'm going to look real quick just because to prove you wrong. Oh, wrong DMs. So 3 adjustments, that's kind of cool. But I don't know. You had bad luck with Shadow. Or no?
No, I
you
like
never
Shadow.
broke anything?
I mean, the Interlock Supreme chain a couple times.
How? That thing's indestructible.
I don't know.
Okay.
I broke it like a week ago or something.
22, 25, or 28?
Yeah, that's not really.
Yeah. I mean, I think 22 would be fun, but I also want to test out 15, which you can't do, so... But anyway, those are back in stock, and I want some, so don't buy them, please. Where's it in stock from? The other thing was the Fly Magneto hub. I think is that kind of similar to the... Oh, Comet Donkey commented on it. Weird. And Ben Whiptack. I like Ben. But is this hub like the BSD Revolution? Do you know?
See, I thought the Fly one used like a whole different type of driver thing.
But in terms of like free coaster, instant engagement, instant disengagement, or no?
Oh, no, it's just a cassette all the time.
Oh, I thought it was... I've been putting some misinformation out there on the internet.
I found the crackhead.
It's me. No, I really thought it was like a free coaster. See, you learn something new every day. Okay, so I thought the magneto system, well, maybe not. I can't remember. I wrote about it at one point, but I feel like I thought it used okay, why don't they do this then? Why isn't the clutch system magnetic to engage and disengage a free coaster? Don't steal my idea, we the people. Shots fired. No, but I feel like that could make sense.
Oh, no, because I thought the driver was like, I don't know, it's set up a certain way, and then the hub set up a certain way as well.
Obviously.
But it's like different from a traditional cassette. So when it when it passes through the driver, it pushes it away, but then the magnets pull it back together. And when you pedal, it all comes together. So it's like, I don't know.
Fly's interesting, but here's the thing. This is something I learned. Well, you talk about it too. KISS.
Oh, keep it simple, stupid.
Why? Like, why reinvent the wheel? You know, especially because I know it's a lot more expensive than a traditional cassette. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. The Shadow Creeper. Oh wait, you guys talk about the Magneto more. The Shadow Creeper tires are out. I don't know how I feel about them, but some people love them. These aren't new products, guys. These are just like products going back in stock because there's been a lot of things out of stock, and it just gives me something to talk about. I'm sorry. Perfect opportunity for the button. Menace. Oh God. Merrit tennis balls. What are your thoughts on that?
I'd personally buy it.
You're
Just
dumb.
a little bit of flavor. It's like one of those things, I don't know, just from working retail, it's always about the little cells. So you like buy some bars from Merrit, you buy some forks, or you buy like a wheel, and you're like, oh, tennis balls would look good in this wheel, and they're here, so might as well just spend the money while I'm here. It's just always a little thing. Like we'd sell shoes and be like, bro, you could buy socks and like have fresh socks in your fresh shoes, and like, that does sound nice.
You know
like,
what?
go buy socks.
We'll take some fresh socks
And
with my fresh shoes.
Bro, actually, no, like, we have a good shirt that would match those shoes really nice. It's right there. They'd be like, bro, this does match. I'll take it. They're like, while you're buying the shirt, you can get one half off. And they're like, oh, sick. And you're like, yeah, that round right there. So you just sold socks and 2 shirts.
So is that because you're an excellent salesman, or is that because of the Merrit tennis balls?
Both.
I think this is what I said about it is you could just buy a tennis ball from Walmart and spray paint it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the Merrit logo, but I feel like, I don't know. I haven't looked at the price. You guys, if you want to buy the Merrit tennis balls, buy the Merrit tennis balls and put them in your wheel. They said something like you could throw these at your wheel. I've tried that. We tried that here, right?
Yes.
It never worked.
Oh, no.
So they should do a
Kelly uses
giveaway
Photoshop.
contest. Look, hire me, Montana Ricky. Do a giveaway so kids have to buy the tennis ball to throw in their wheel, and whoever can get it first try without Photoshop while doing a trick, or just throw it at your friend, wins 30% off a t-shirt. Just kidding. That was a jab at tree. Were you going to say something about the Magneto?
So they can't see this. Sorry.
No,
But that's kind of how
You're dumb.
I'll screen record it here in a second. Well, I mean, it's just a screenshot, I guess.
Oh, true.
But you can kind of see how it's like, I don't know, it's just a whole different setup that seems stronger than the traditional balls and
so
springs.
it's always engaged until the magnets like deflect it.
Well, I think it's always pushing it together. It's just when the wheel's moving, it like kind of forces it together, but then it snaps back.
So when you're pedaling, it brings it together.
Yeah, and I mean, compared to like 4 points of engagement
Yeah.
with cassette 3, you got like a bunch there, and it's just really strong metal on metal.
So that could be the next big thing in racing.
Yeah. Or even Parker trails. I don't know, I mean, if it was cheaper, I'd probably
How much
buy
is it?
That's a good question.
Do they have a quick link? So here's the problem, guys, with Instagram. Speaking of which, Instagram is absolutely useless for cross anything. Like, look, they can post about this till they're blue in the face, but if I actually wanted to buy it and I can't just click on it like and go buy it, I'm not going to do it.
Why magneto hub?
Look, it's taking him this long. Like if he was trying to buy the hub, RIP, and it's very expensive, right?
Like $225, 230, about 230.
For a reinvented cassette. It does look really nice.
Oh yeah.
And I was gonna say they do the straight spoke, but that's a tree thing, huh? Tree straight spoke.
I was like, this is tree. I'm tired. Oh, my bedtime.
Beric hasn't eaten yet either. He thought we'd just come here and like whip out a podcast, and then I pull out like all these lights and stuff. He's like, ugh. We have an extension cord. The first outlet we wanted to use didn't work, so we came over here, and I'm surprised we haven't got kicked out.
Same.
Like the janitor stared at us, and like those kids, and I don't know. But when we're riding, the cops kick us out sometimes.
Yeah.
What am I talking about next? So those are the things. Let's talk about Kevin for a few minutes. I met Kevin when I first started riding. I was living with my mom at the time, and I was literally just getting into BMX. I thought I was good. I was definitely not good, but I thought I was good. So that's very important, have confidence when you're young and stupid. And they did a BMX thing at the park. And I said, I ride BMX. This is cool. So I'm going to go ride BMX. Like, that's what I thought. I thought, I'm going to go ride this box jump with these guys that are coming. And I think it was a religious thing that their family was doing, but it was like Kevin and probably David and a few other good riders. He did this huge Superman seat grab, like stupid extended over the sketchy box jump. And I was like, oh, I am not good. And so that's when I learned I was not a good rider. And Kevin's just insane. And so anyway, being around Tucson, like I was able to ride with him a handful of times. And the craziest thing for me is just like how positive he is. And just, I don't know, good vibes. Like Barrick talked about him always smiling.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, what made me kind of, I guess, fall in love with him.
Whoa.
Kevin DM me. So it was, I know it was X Games at Minneapolis, I think.
Yeah.
So, not trying to fire shots at anybody.
But Daniel Sandoval's crybaby.
More or less. If we want to be quick about it. So Daniel Sandoval, I mean, good rider, had kind of a crappy run. I forgot what he messed up on. Like he slipped pedals. But he like threw a world-class hissy fit, was like throwing his bike, sat down, was like, meh. And I was like, that's kind of lame. Like, whatever, you know, kind of understand it. And then Kevin, like nowhere near the podium. I think he was like in 8th. But they're like, this is the only rider that could upset the podium. So he drops in, does like one trick, and then like immediately gets a flat.
No.
He flies out, and he's like, oh, thank you. I'm just happy to be here. Like, I love you guys. But he was like smiling and just positive about everything.
He's
just
like having a good time.
That's what BMX should be about.
Yeah. I think that's how he is, like regardless, you know, with everything. And then it's kind of a difference. I think Nyquist talked a little bit about Sandoval in the way that he has to be really careful when he's coaching athletes. Because he doesn't want to come up and say, hey, you need to do this. Because imagine with that attitude, like how he would take something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but he's at the top of like where he's at for a reason, because he takes it very seriously. But Kevin's able to balance that really well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, so happy all the time. I think, and maybe that's what makes it like his riding so different from everyone, because it's not like, I don't think he necessarily strategizes too much competition wise. I could be very wrong, but I think he just is like, oh, this looks fun. I'm going to do a wall ride 180 bar to half cab whip into the quarter. It's like nobody's doing that. Wow. And he's probably, maybe he is, but maybe he's probably just thinking this sounds fun and not even thinking about how unique he could be. But because he enjoys it, like thoroughly enjoys it, instead of just trying to do it for, I don't know. There is this book I'm reading. Shut up. No, but okay. So do you know what intrinsic and extrinsic motivation is?
No, I don't even know what motivation is at this point.
What's motivation? Hold on. I'm going to read it for you. This is a little off topic, but kind of not, because it's essentially what makes you feel good. So intrinsic motivation is the act of doing something without any obvious external rewards. You do it because it's enjoyable and interesting rather than because of an outside incentive or press to do it. So like someone who's extrinsically motivated would be gunning for first place in a competition for the money or for the fame or whatever it may be. Whereas I feel like Kevin's really intrinsically motivated and just riding because of the joy and pleasure that it actually brings him.
Oh, yeah.
But in the book, barricades, we talk about life. I'm like, oh, I read this book. And he's like, shut up. No, but in the book, it talked about how people who are more capable of unlocking a flow state and extreme athletes are more intrinsically motivated. And I'm going to research it more because I don't know what the correlation is. Like maybe that's just dumb luck, but that's very, like the people who are at the top of their sport are generally intrinsically motivated. And that gets to me, like, I feel like Sean Burns is intrinsically motivated. Like he sends himself off a roof.
Oh yeah. Because
he wants to.
Yeah. Oh.
Is life that bad, bro? No, I don't know. Kevin is cool. He was at the USA Jam. I would have hugged him if I saw him.
Well, no, I feel like Kevin just pulls up to the skate park or wherever And it's like, oh, I'm just so happy to ride. And then he just starts doing tricks.
Just
and he's
goes
like,
at it.
oh, I could add like this to this. And it just like turns into bangers. And it's just like, okay.
Did you watch his USL video?
The bike dice?
Yeah.
Yes.
I tried to find myself in the background. Hello. No, I wasn't in the background. But those were all chillers like I was talking about. I think most of them were anyway. But that I can't remember what he did on the bull. It was something like, was it nose manual over a quarter to half cab whipping? I don't know. But anyway, Kevin Peraza. We love Kevin.
Yes.
Do you want to say anything else about Kevin?
I think I've said too much.
Daniel Sandoval's going to fly down here to kick your ass. I got to find the notes real quick. So
Only do it for that is it?
Extrinsic motivation.
Yes.
Yeah. So speaking of that, Ryan Taylor and AJ Anaya. That's the kind of trauma I want to talk about weekly, but like that just happens rarely. So like on the next episode, BMXer Barry gets his ass kicked by
Daniel Sandoval.
Larry Edgar's buff, and like they're homies.
You get folded in half by Dylan Lloyd.
Yeah. Wait. What? Why was that? What was I saying?
Oh, I thought you said something about We the People. Oh, don't steal that idea.
So Dylan Lloyd's going to come fold me in half. No, this is all good fun. I hope. I don't know. Some people are sensitive.
Yeah.
But I like I told Barrick, I said, Barrick, we don't want to talk too much shit without facts, you know?
Yeah.
But we do want to like, you know, bring up good points and have good discussion about it. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this long ass podcast. Okay. Kevin Peraza, we talked, what I wanted to have was like a story to tell about him or like his life. Oh, so, okay. His dad used to ride BMX.
Yes.
Papa Peraza. Their whole family rides BMX. Essentially, Victor's the youngest. No, Eddie's the youngest. Eddie's interesting because he's not like Kevin, David, or Victor in terms of tricks, but it's still kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And then Victor is nuts for Victor's nuts. And then David is the oldest. And I rode in shows with David. He gave me, this sounds weird, but he had Monster socks. And after the show, I was like, yo, I like those socks. He gave them to me. They were not clean. And like, so now we're in the age of people selling their like sweaty socks and underwear and stuff on what is it? On OnlyFans?
Follow me on OnlyFans.
Anyway, so then like now thinking about it, that's kind of weird vibes, but that was before that whole thing. And so anyway, Perazas are good people. They do a lot for the community. I know in Tucson, they had a foam pit and backyard ramps and everything set up. They donated all of their foam to Premises Park when they first opened up. They've done so much for that park. And the reason they do it is to keep the scene alive in BMX because it's really for them.
Sorry, Taco Bell. Not a sponsor.
But because the whole family genuinely loves the sport and it means a lot to them. So I think that's why they do what they do. Okay, last thing, finally, side notes is bike shops versus online bike shops. So we talked about, I don't remember when I talked about this. Was it the live? We talked about it after a sesh one time, is that kid posted about, oh, should I buy this? Or this guy, should I buy this from my bike shop? Should I buy it online? And the Capital guy or Tim was like, you need to buy it from your shop. And I'm like, dude, your shop doesn't give a fuck about you. Your shop literally does not care. Like there's a handful, I think I talked about it in the live, but our experience here in Cruces,
we don't really have a local shop.
Yeah, I mean, we do, but we don't. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. So here's the thought. This is my interpretation of it. Our shop has, I don't know, maybe they have like a SE bike or something like that, like BMX. I think they do a little more for racing. And I guess I never really thought about the racing aspect of it. But I asked that poll and I said, how do you guys fix your bike? 90% out of 300 votes, 90% said I do it myself.
Yeah.
Only 10% take it to a shop. We don't need shops anymore. Shops are dead.
Yeah.
You think?
I mean, I feel like they are kind of dying out. I feel like there's still the people that need to like go have their bike worked on.
Yeah.
But I mean, BMX bikes, like in reality, are kind of easy to work on.
Once you work on a car, you're like, this bike is easy.
Oh yeah. It's like, I don't have to take off the stupid tires. And like, the jack stands.
Yeah. So bikes really are easy to work on.
Oh yeah. I mean, the hardest thing's like a chain, just because they get like annoying.
They get all tied up. And I think shops charge ridiculous prices.
And they have your bike forever.
Yeah. See, and that's the other thing, especially, like Stack did that one thing. We were reading those reviews, and it was like $250 finder's fee.
Yeah,
it's like, but the argument is that they're so busy fixing bikes because of COVID and all these other things, is that they don't have time to look for a part for you. And anyway, the review was like, I called them looking for a part, and they said they had a $250. So if you want them to find their part, you pay them $250 plus by the part. And the reason was because COVID.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Probably 225 before COVID.
I've never heard of such a thing. But point is, some shops, for our industry, it should not be around. Somebody getting kidnapped?
I think it's a cat fight.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I don't think, this is insensitive to say, but I've touched on this a lot, is that it's like they feel entitled to get support from BMX riders, but that's not like the world right now, because of social media and the pivot, is like, we're in a giving economy. Is like for example, the bike recommendations I do, right? Do the bike recommendations. That's it. You know, like, I don't ask for anything. I have a donation link on them.
Yeah.
And it is a cat fight. Bro, these cats are going at it. What the fuck?
Is that two cats?
I hope it's not like 50.
Just come rushing at us.
Just like, oh. Okay, but with the recommendation links, like, it's a giving economy and people appreciate it. Everyone's giving stuff for free right now.
Yeah.
And to feel entitled in a retail aspect, it's like, you're not. There's people much better than you online. So like, why would I go to Ride On, for example, deal with that guy that's really rude?
Yeah.
Buy a bike from them online so they can mark it up. I can wait for it, right? If I could just, Empire, you love Empire.
Yes.
Order it from Empire.
Yeah.
You're actually supporting a BMX shop, and like, your local shop doesn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, they care that you didn't buy it from them, but that's all they care about, and that's very selfish.
Yeah.
I think. And with the giving economy, like, people hit that donation link and just donate because they appreciate it. And it's like, I know if I charge for something like that, I would not get any money from it.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of just give it to people, and if they feel like they owe you something, then they do, and they will. And like, it'd be interesting to see if shops are able to figure that out and pivot that way. I don't know how you do it where you actually carry goods, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of. Sam talking a different shameless plug. It was like this one
Fitment
YouTuber.
Industries.
No, this one YouTuber said something like, yeah, the reason I don't tell people to subscribe is like, if you like my content, like, you're going to subscribe regardless.
Yeah.
Like, it's just stupid for me to tell you to subscribe, because then you're not going to want to.
Yeah.
But someday you'll just be like, I like this content. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to help out this YouTuber. So I feel like that's kind of what.
I subscribe to channels that have given me value with no expectations.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? That was good. That was secret. Like, that was good information. And you didn't like some people, they'll have it throughout their video pop up with the like button.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, get that the fuck off my screen.
Or in the middle, it's like, don't forget to smash that like button.
I'm going to smash the dislike.
It's like, bro, I'm on my TV. I'm not using my remote to
Smash. Sue the guy for the broken TV. So anyway, guys, don't forget. No, I'm just kidding. Speaking of which, okay, so shops versus online, I guess we kind of beat the dead horse with that, because I've talked about that a lot recently, because it's an interesting topic to me, because BMX is growing so much, and there's a lot of debate. I genuinely think, mark my words, guys, something is going to do to BMX shops like Amazon did to bookshops.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is, but this is what I've noticed. Like, Amazon came around Said, you don't need bookshops. Like, look, just buy it from us. Boom, 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 boom. Easy. And then bookshops were like, oh, this sucks. But they had that opportunity too a long time ago.
Yeah.
And they didn't jump on it. So bike shops have an opportunity right now to figure something out and do something. And they're not jumping on it. So somebody else is going to whack the bike shops. You like we heard, people don't work on their bike. I think truing wheels or building wheels is something that you'd pay a bike shop an abnormally high price for.
I promise you, it's really easy to build in true wheel.
Ship your spokes to BMX or Barrick, and he will build. No, the only time I build a wheel is when I say, "Hey, Barrick, can you build this wheel for me?" And he does. So find a good friend who can true wheels. But you learned off like YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first, it was me just looking at a wheel and trying to mimic it, and that went horrible. I mean, it built it wheel. I just didn't know how to true.
Yeah, the cross over the valve stem hole and everything.
Yeah. Well, just because I put in a spoke, and I was like, this spoke is the length for this wheel. Tighten it as much as I can. So anytime I put a nipple on, it was just immediately tighten it as much as I can. So the wheel hop was like 2 inches. And bombing hills was not fun.
But hey, you built it.
Yes.
That's actually impressive that you just looked at it and built it like that.
It took me like all day though.
The first thing I did when I bought my first bike, I mean, my parents bought it, but I took it completely apart because I wanted to be able to put it back together. And that did go horribly wrong too. It's like, I finished, I put it back together. There's all these other pieces like spacers, and I'm like,
all the unsealed bearings and balls everywhere. That was always my least favorite.
you pull it apart and bearings go everywhere.
Searching forever for those little ball bearings. You're like, holding it in by that little bit of grease.
But for real, guys, learn how to work on your bike.
Yes.
Don't pay, what is it? It's probably like $60 to $50 to true a wheel.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I thought it was like 20 to true wheel, maybe 50 to build it. But I mean, they have it for a long time. Like,
I mean, that's the thing we didn't touch on is like they keep your bike forever when they work on it too.
And I mean, God, one thing too is like, I mean, not trying to diss on kids or anything, but I feel like a lot of the ones that take it to bike shops are kids, and they're in school, their parents work, so they can't like take it to a bike shop just middle of the day when they're open. So it's like parents get off work, bike shop's closed. You wait till like Saturday, and you don't have a bike over the weekend.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially if you need the repair done like Monday and you can't get it there till Saturday.
Well, shops try to have like banker hours. It's like go to work at 10 a.m. and you close by 3 p.m.
Yeah.
It's like when everyone is at school and at work. And yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the Blake from the live, we got him a chain, and I just called the shop and said, this kid's going to pick it up. And he's like, oh, I can't get to it for a few days. It's like, dang, that sucks, you know, because they're closed or whatever, because you're a busy kid. I don't know. But he had a chain breaker. He didn't even need the shop to put it on. He's like 13. Yeah. Chain breaking stuff is a pain.
Oh yeah, especially when that pin falls out.
Yeah, some guy messaged me. So here's a little tip. He said, it was on my chains video. He's like, bro, what do you do when you accidentally pop this pin out all the way? It's like, cry.
Needle nose pliers and a hammer.
Yeah, so you don't smack your finger. Yeah, so what would you do?
God, I'd like lay it on the ground and like get the pliers and just barely hover it.
Hold the pin with the pliers. Line
like
it up
slightly
in the hole.
tap it into the hole, and then just pull it apart. Or like it gets in there a little, kind of sticks past the link a little bit.
But you want to have that bottom link in there, because if you do it without the bottom link, it'll bend the outside links.
Yes.
And then
yes, chains are lots of patience.
So the other thing you could do is, if you don't have needle nose pliers, is use your don't use your fingers. I'm just kidding.
Use a friend's fingers.
Friend's fingers. Hey Barrick, can you come help me build a wheel and put this chain on? Is you could just cut off an extra link and leave that. Make sure you leave that pin out, and then you'd have to cut off 2 extra links from your other chain or your extra piece. Right?
Yeah.
And then put it together that way, but then you're doing 2 different connections, and that's a big headache.
Oh yeah.
That probably didn't make any sense.
It'll make sense in the future video. Yeah, because I had to do it a million times.
You had to?
Yeah. Because it's always like, well, the pin, it's not out yet. A little more turnip. Boom. It's like,
Just shoots across the room.
It's like,
Dude, it's almost midnight.
nice.
I usually go to bed at 9, and here we are. I have to go to work tomorrow morning. Okay, so I guess that's everything. This is good. I'm happy I spent a lot of money on this. And so
Sarcasm? We'll never know.
Oh, we got to read the comments from last one. Tee. Okay. Matt Silpka. Matt Silpka. Matt's in the lives a lot. What's up, Matt? He says, love both the army green and the teal drip Sabrosa colorways. I was pretty impressed with the teal drip. Like I said in the thing, army green's not my color. Both of our bikes are really boring.
Leave it down below if you prefer colorful bikes or plain black bikes.
We were talking about that too. Actually, good idea. Very good idea because, so I was trying to figure out if kids, like, why do bike companies spend the you got to think it's a lot of money and time to create different variations in different colors. And they're really exotic colors. Like I talk about the Kink Cloud. I absolutely hate that color. But there's other colors and I still they're not that good, you know? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what the King Cloud is.
Yeah. It's just like dark. I don't know, but there's some really flashy colors and there's some bland colors. But why don't bike companies make just one plain color of bike? Is it because colors are that important? Literally, let us know because I'm really curious. It would help me out a lot.
Also, same.
You don't like the color?
Not really.
Yeah. Did you even look at it?
Yeah, it's like some weird gray, blue, green.
It's just I don't know. It looks like poop.
I mean, it's unique, but it's not something I'd personally buy.
JDA79 says, man, I may have to come down to Tucson and say hello. They let spectators in, ? Dang, I hope you did go, but I was definitely not there. But I replied to him. I said, hey man, I did a McTwisty on my neck and I am not going. Carlo says a BMX rider will wear Prada, but not while riding. So you saw the Augie Prada collab.
The one where he's wearing a trash bag? I don't know. I swear organic memes made fun of it. Or organic BMX memes.
I don't know.
It was who wore it better? And it's somebody with a poncho and then whatever his
I don't
name
think
is.
so. I think it was just a photo shoot thing. It's he's wearing a Prada shirt and weird leggings, pants. Oh. This goes about a lot of companies supporting BMX or putting money into the sport that aren't necessarily in BMX. There's a lot of drama on whether Augie is a sellout now because he did this collab with Prada, but I think their shirt's $2,200.
I don't. But I mean, if he's making money with modeling,
yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of the argument was that no BMX rider could ever afford Prada. And I mean, that's true in a sense, I guess. I don't know. I see some of these kids buying $1,000 completes and I'm like, dang.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I would never even, I want a Gucci shirt just to flex.
Yes. Also same.
Yeah. Just one, to wear you just
God, or even a Gucci wallet. Just have basketball shorts and a shirt.
No, because you got to extrinsically motivate it. Oh.
Yeah, Gucci wallet.
Wait, remember that time you pulled out your wallet? You dropped it. He pulled out his wallet and just flipped, and it just fell, and he looked at me like this. It's so funny. That's what if you did that with your Gucci wallet, I'd swoop it. But yeah, no, something like that just to flex. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't ride in it, and it wouldn't be I love Gucci, so I'm wearing this Gucci shirt or bought this Gucci shirt. But I just want to have something like that, just
because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous. Absolutely
for the memes.
Ridiculous. And at Woodward, speaking of BMX riders and stuff like that, I had a white tank top. This is how bad it is. White tank top. It was red and black, I think, with stripes. But the shirt was so old. I don't buy clothes. And the shirt was old that the black kind of faded to green. And I'm riding and this kid's like, bro, is that a Gucci tank top? I'm like, what? Bro, it's the opposite. It's a poor ass person tank top because it's faded. It's 100 years old. What are you talking about?
It's hoochie.
So that was ghetto and sad. I was like, dang. And so that's when I was started looking at it. I was like, yeah, why? Why? JR, What's up, JR? He says, designer brands have ripped off the skate community for years, and now they're doing it in BMX. I'm sure Augie had good intentions, such as paycheck, and possibly different doors he could open. I love Augie as a person and a rider, but I do not support these designer brands ripping off our sport, lifestyle, and culture. They just cash out and give nothing back. It's bullshit.
Well, isn't Nike kind of doing that with Nigel?
Who?
Nigel Sylvester?
No, I'm just kidding. What do you mean?
Because I know Nike kicked their whole BMX team, but they kept Nigel to be like a model or something for them. So it's like, I mean,
so they pretty much like said BMX isn't important, but hey, Nigel, we want to piggyback off your success.
Yes. Or like we want you to keep us in BMX without us actually being in BMX.
Yeah, that was a big deal when they dropped their BMX program. Everyone was like, I hate Nike. I wear Nike just because they're cheaper. Like I get them when they're $40 and they're really not that good. Like they do not grip at all.
Not like Vans do. Vans off the wall shoes. Please be a sponsor.
So one video we need to do is compare different shoes.
Yes.
Because people ask about that a lot. And like for bikes, it's really easy to just talk about how the specs affect your riding, blah, blah, blah. But for shoes, you can't really do that. And I really want to actually test some shoes.
Yeah, because I know there's, God, I swear Steve Woodward just got picked up by a shoe company.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
I think they're on Dance Comp as well.
I've never heard of them.
Same. But then there's Fade Footwear. There's like a couple out there. But it's like they're so hard to find and they're like $100 per pair of shoes.
Yeah, they're like not practical. But they are core BMX. I don't know. We talked about people, I think, I don't know, it's like BMX riders and they're like, yeah, I'm going to start a shoe company because there's no shoe companies. And they're like, oh, shoes are expensive to make and BMX riders are poor and nobody really cares about my shoe company. So that's sad.
I miss Low Tech.
Low Tech. Etnies, those Etnies shoes that I shared, they were like cream colored. Those are nice.
Dude, the last two pairs of Etnies I bought have like fuzz on the bottom. The worst for riding.
Like on the inside?
So it's like, no, it's like on the soles.
What?
Like the front has fuzz and then there's like a small strip of rubber. And then the back has fuzz. I'll show you next time.
That sounds awful to ride in. I know. What were you thinking?
I don't know. In the picture, it's just rubber.
No way. I meant to do this one.
Oh. Thought there was going to be a boo.
No, I don't have a boo.
Well,
it's just rubber.
Yes. Boo.
You sound like moo. Okay. Wait, that was the last one. Oh, we got way off topic about the
designer
Prada,
clothing.
the shoe. Okay. I don't really know. I still think, like everyone said, get that money. I don't necessarily get how they're ripping it off.
Yeah, I don't.
Are they?
I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of like, well, I mean, they're not like appealing to BMX riders, I don't think.
I think they're just using a beautiful man with a BMX bike.
Yeah, and like his passion.
To be fair, like the BMX culture sucks in a sense. It's like, look, everyone gets pushed out, right? We only like things that we're comfortable with. It's like, I don't know. I love it because it's a really tight-knit culture, but in the same sense, it's really, is it particular or like if Prada's about good vibes and spreading good vibes, like BMX isn't necessarily it in a sense for the general scheme of it, because it's like split up by politics. It's split up by people who love like the Morgan Wade stuff and the Corey Burgler, but then there's the Scotty Kramer crew that love that type of stuff, and then there's people that hate vlogs and love vlogs, and it's like
there's like the free coasters and plastic pegs and kendamas suck.
Yeah, and
BMX is ruined.
If you ride park, you're a park rat, and you like Sword. He's like, what did he say? He called me a park rat. I was like, bro, I will put on pegs right now and slap you in a game of bike. It's like, you can't be like that, you know? I think the reason we love Kevin and Dennis, for me personally, is because they're so well-rounded.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, there is no like, what if Kevin sat at the park? Like, everyone's like, oh, let's go ride this bull at Linda Vista. And you just sat there.
Yeah.
I only want to ride street. It's like, dude, nobody would like you, you know?
Yeah, he's like, hey, can you guys get out of the bowl? I'm trying to do a run.
Yeah, that too.
It's like, I mean, like, if we're just firing shots at people, like Sean Ricani.
Shame on you. I used to love Sean Ricani until he got older and cocky.
Yeah, he's like such a good rider, but like just who he was as a person, it's like, I don't want anything to do with this guy. Where like Garrett Reynolds, you watch him ride and he's just like I don't know. He seems so humble and chill.
Yeah, looks like he's just having a good time. I wish I knew when he was in El Paso, we could have gone, not kidnapped him, but kidnapped him.
Yes.
Okay, if you had to choose who you would kidnap and force to session with, right? Nothing else. No lewd acts. Force a session. Okay. Would you pick three people? Kevin. I'm trying to think of writers that you really love. Garrett, for sure. Got to get those two. Trey Jones.
I feel like Garrett Reynolds, just because he rides more of like what I like to ride. But I mean, Kevin would still be. I don't know. To me, they'd both be dope to hang out with. Because I've heard Garrett Reynolds is really shy, but
Yeah.
I'm also really shy. So I feel like it'd be a lot of me just doing a little ledge trick and then him just like doing something crazy.
Making you cry.
Yes.
You'd want a session with him.
Yes.
It's like, hey, look at my feeble heart. And he's like 180 whip to fakey feeble.
It's like, I just did a Smith Feeble Easy 180 first try. He's like Smith or Bar Smith nose ice Easy 180 half cab whip first try. It's like, okay.
It's like, hey, I got to go. Good talking with you, Garrett. Peace out.
It's like, you want to see my feeble hard 180?
Okay, guys. So that is like, we're done. This is a long one. I don't know. Do you guys like the longer one or do you like the longer podcast or the shorter podcast? I had a lot of fun chit chatting with Barrick and like, this will be good to go this direction for sure, as long as we don't get stabbed, as long as the quality's good. But one thing, Barrick has a hard time posting stuff on Instagram, but that's his favorite thing is BMXer Barrick. So if you want to, he is now an official part of the community as the Dougsterbob discussion co-host. And so go show some love. Hopefully he actually he wants to be a part of the YouTube channel and we're trying to get him onto that. He would provide incredible amounts of value for you guys who are already in the sport, looking to learn more about different things and work into vlogging eventually.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave some comments on the things I told you to comment about so we have something to talk about next podcast.
Yes.
And come hang out on the live. What if we got Barrick on the live? Barrick got annoyed last live.
Yeah, a little. I just don't like questions. So we need questions.
Some are very repetitive.
Yes.
Like, hey man, I bought this bike. What do you think? It's like, man, you already bought the bike, so you're good. Like, it's the best bike ever. Love the bike, ride the bike, carry on. And I guess with that being said, love the bike, ride the bike, and carry on. Yes. Thank you, Barrick. This was fun. Now we got to spend an hour undoing everything, and we'll get some clips for you guys too, and then maybe the next location is a mystery. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your whatever day this is, and share this with your friends. I'm gonna plug that just because it's hard to grow a podcast organically, and if you're listening to this, like, just share it and say this was half decent. And yeah, all right, have a good day before we get stabbed.
Bye.
Peace. Wait. Oh, that's laughter.